All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the first episode, the very first iteration of the Round 11 podcast. I am your host, Tanner or Tandem, whatever you'd like to call me, and my co host,
Leaf man, you know the vibes.
or, or Colby, YKTV, you know the vibes. And this is going to be all things Call of Duty knowledge and entertainment. Now, we didn't put Call of Duty or CDL in the name for a reason. We didn't want to be tied down to only Call of Duty. Like the off season or weak moments in Call of Duty, like we're in right now, when there's not a lot of news, we don't want to not have anything to do. So this could be, we're personally pretty big FaZe fans, so anything we want to touch on in the esports scene, teams, or any esports like Valorant's new, anything that's relevant. We may even touch on traditional sports, to be honest. So anything we feel like touching on, I think we're going to do. We don't want to be tied down to Call of Duty. But so first we're going to dive into an introduction of what Round 11 means to us. So, Colby, what does Round 11 mean to you?
Round 11 is the biggest round in Search and Destroy. It's when you have to come up the most clutch. Every player, you have to have the ice and win the Round 11, because if you don't, you lose the game. That's what Round 11 means to me, man.
Yeah, that's true. I agree, because I think Round 11 is like the pinnacle of Call of Duty excitement. That's like,
yes, literally the most
clips,
exciting round.
The clips that get saved throughout the years are Round 11 clips. Like, that's what dreams are made of. Round 11, the champions live and die by Round 11, man. Round 11 is so clutch, and it's obviously it's a reference to COD. If you're not familiar with COD, 5-5 is the score. The S&D games go 6 rounds to win. So the 11th round is the round that decides the game.
The make or break.
Yes, the make or break for one team, or for both teams. One team makes, one team breaks, and that Round 11 is a reference to the excitement of Call of Duty, but it doesn't have COD in the name for reasons I said earlier. But so like I said, we're gonna touch on any esports topics or sports. We're sports fans also, but
just things
going to be. Go ahead.
Just things we find interesting in esports, basically.
Yeah, pretty much anything we find relevant, but mainly going to be Call of Duty, CWL, CDL, anything centered podcast. Also, before we move on, I would like to shout out our editor, Sam. What an actual beast. He didn't want me to shout him out, but I'm going to shout him out because this wouldn't have been possible without him, so shout out to the GOAT. Okay, so as any of you know that have been keeping up with the CDL, it has been moving to an online format, and we're going to touch on some information going to online and our opinions on the situation. So, Colby, you can go ahead. I'm going to pull up the schedule.
All right, so the first thing is the online format is why did it take so long? If they were doing the exact same format that they had and just moving it online.
That is the one statement of the week, by the way.
The one thing that I wanted to see maybe with online is maybe 12 teams, but I understand that it didn't happen. But I'm glad that they're bringing it back as soon, or not as soon, but at least this Friday.
I personally, first let me inform. Okay, the league is coming back. There is an event April 10th through the 12th, April 24th to the 26th, May 8th through 10th, May 22nd through 24th, June 5th through 7th, June 19th through 21st, July 10th through 12th, July 17th through 19th, and July 24th through 26th. So those are the events laid out. It's the same teams that are already hosting events, but they're not hosting anymore. But my opinion is, again, like you said, why did they take so long? I don't know, because they didn't change. They didn't even change the teams.
Just
they kept the exact format, literally the same thing. But personally, I'm kind of glad they didn't change it. I don't think the 12 teams would have worked, because they would have had to find a whole new format.
Yeah. They could have... I don't know. You could have done double limb, maybe with 12 teams, brackets.
Takes 16 teams like they did last year. The CWO, when there were 16 teams, the double LM large bracket. I just think 12 teams would have been real. It would have taken some thought to come up with a whole new format.
Yeah, but still tournament play. It would have been more exciting with 12 teams. And you would have had a real champion. I feel like each.
I'm glad they kept tournaments though. If it would have been league matches, the viewership would have absolutely tanked.
Year would have been chickadee chalk.
Yeah, it would have been bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Chickadee chalk.
League matches are actually just boring. But let me pull up the first event, which I said was April 10th through the 12th, which is this weekend. Is Dallas's homestand that they're hosting.
What do they do to host the match?
The teams going are Seattle, Paris, Florida, Toronto, Chicago, Minnesota, Dallas, and LAG. Well, really. Also, I want to say, actually, moving to online had to happen. So anyone saying that, oh, it's online, it's boring, or it's stupid, it literally had to happen.
It's better than nothing.
That
or nothing. It's literally that or nothing.
There was no other option because people can't
also,
fly. Good.
Also, if you looked on there, they didn't even add champs. So they're still, I guess, trying to play with the fact that champs will be on land. So that's a good thing.
I don't think they had champs on there before, did they? On the schedule?
Yeah, they had champs.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't a date for champs.
Well, at least they don't have champs on the schedule. So they're at least trying to play that on land. That's the one good thing.
Like made an actual plan, a stagnant plan of this champs is online at this day. So we have some hope at least. But this definitely had to happen this way. We're lucky that we can even do it because the NBA can't play online, the MLB can't play online, NFL or college football practice is being canceled. They can't do their stuff because they can't meet. We're lucky that we can even do this. So you should all be grateful that we can play online. No one can fly. They can't have that many people at a LAN event. So.
And hopefully viewership will go up with the people that are home. So
hopefully so. Because there's a lot of people home, like you said, and there's more people that were into esports and more people who weren't, like sports fans or people who are just watching TV that may get into it that haven't got into it before. Have you seen the online F1 racing simulations they've been doing?
Yeah, that's what I was last say. What Lando brought up last week on, I think off the break, is that all the sports teams, all the NBA players, all that are watching esports. ESPN they're literally putting esports on ESPN. That's the only thing that can happen.
Exactly, getting put on the map because there's nothing else that's even possible.
That's some hope for the CDL for viewership wise. At least.
That's where, like he said, Lando said, that's where they turn to. People are turning to video games right now because I mean, what else is there to turn to? It's just entertainment. It's the only business that can really keep going at this level. So,
and this is what we did in BO3 as well. So.
Well, and AW had a really interesting online league. They played like 200 matches per team that year because they played like a whole season online. Like it was not a season 1 and 2; it was one big season. It was all online. They continued it the whole time.
The BO3 broadcast in league. God, this dog won't shut the hell up. The BO3 cat online league was amazing, bro. Like even from watching it was the best online league I think I've seen.
But it made it more competitive for us though because it was an only North American league. Because in BO3, if you remember, they split it up to North American, European, and Australian, New Zealand.
I do remember that.
So we weren't watching. Sorry, Australia, but your ass. And European teams, there was like 2 or 3 good ones.
Didn't succeed.
So we were watching North American. So for us, it was really fun to watch. I actually did like it, to be honest. And every year they started stepping it up more because they were like, okay, we're going to do the same thing in IW, but it's going to be LAN. In World War II, they said, okay, we're going to have a LAN league and continue more events. And they kept upping it every year until we're at now.
Overall, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's the only way it can work online. They gave us the same tournaments, but it's still tournaments. It's still something to watch. So
yes,
I'm at least glad they gave us something.
Yes, because I think it's like, is it every weekend? No, I guess it's still skipping some weekends.
Yeah, but the one after this one is still next weekend. So this one's going back to back.
After this one?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's 2 weekends.
I thought it was the 12th.
And 10th through the 12th is this weekend, and then it skips and then goes 24th through 26th for Chicago.
I read the wrong thing then.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm looking at the TDL thing. I guess, that would be skipping a week, would it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that skips a week, and then I think there's back to back next 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And also, when I mentioned the faded statement, we're going to have anything we feel like every week. We feel like one of us, between us, makes a hot take that is faded, or something that happens during the week that you're just absolutely smacking the henny. You're just faded
Just
for no
stupid.
reason. Yeah, you're getting faded statement, and this week's faded statement is going to the CDL for taking over a month to give
To
us
release the same exact format, just
no
online.
changes.
Like, what were you?
Literally didn't
guess
even
the
change the
host.
teams.
I guess the host is what took so long, deciding
What's
who was going to
crazy,
host
though?
match.
They announced Overwatch League 2 weeks ago. Literally, like 15 days ago. They
Well, Overwatch
announced
did cancel, I think, before COD.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was like a week before.
It was a whoa. It might have been
before.
like 3 or 4 days.
Maybe.
Okay, but regardless, they took literally 2 weeks longer. Overwatch has already played 2 weeks of matches, and we just got announced.
Yeah, but they do just play league matches though. This was a whole tournament.
That's true. I guess they didn't have to organize that. I think the pros have known that when they were going to play for like a week now, though. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I heard CDL Intel tweet that about a week ago, I think, that the pros know what's happening, but we don't. So
yeah, I think they got told
who knows?
a little while ago.
Still the same format.
Okay, well, we'll just jump into the upcoming tournament.
Let's get into it.
The Dallas tournament, and I want to know from you, Colby, what is your team to look out for this tournament? You can go in as in depth as you would like.
Right. The team that is going to come out and shock everyone at Dallas is going to be the Seattle Surge. And the reason I'm saying this is because I have them making it out of pools. You have Sam Octane playing MVP level. MVP level. You have Sam world starring kids dropping 40 on the Gorillas, right? And you haven't had App play this well at the beginning of a game since.
Hey, shout out App. Congrats on being a dad, man.
Yeah, but since what? IW, like. And then it's the three main pieces. You need Pander to turn up. Karma. Okay, Karma, you need to play well. Slacked, you need to play well. But I think with the online league, this tournament's make or break for that team. I think with the veterans on the team, I think they're going to make it out of pools. And they can pull an upset and go far. I really think that.
Agree with you mostly because I do think App and Octane are going to continue. And actually, personally, I think the AR is going to be more important online than it was on land. I think on land, the MP5 was absolutely shooting nuke missile bombs, and people are running 4 of them for a reason. But I think the AR is going to be more important online. I could have made that up, but that's just my opinion. Okay, anyways, Octane is going to fry, and I think App is going to fry. Seattle's problem. This is important. Most teams are in the same place. Seattle is one of like 2 teams that aren't. Every team at this tournament is in the same place except Seattle, and that is going to hurt. They are all across the country. For those of you who don't know, Octane and Pander live together in California. Slacked lives in Kansas City, Illinois. And Apathy lives in Florida. And I don't know where Karma lives. He used to live in Canada. I have no clue where he lives now. But anywhere he lives, it's going to be away from somebody. Literally California and Florida. Like, I don't know if that's going to make them lose. Not saying it is, but it could be bad for them.
I think that the situation that they're in with the players and veterans on the team, this do or die for them. They have 2 wins, only 2 wins against the Gorillas. I really do think it's do or die for them, and I think that hopefully that's going to hit them mentally, and the veterans on the team will step up and show what we know they can do.
I would hope so. I mean, it's about time for something to hit them mentally. I was really gassed about this team going into the year, and they have not shown up, and I'm really disappointed. He was playing significantly better than a lot of players online before the season. I mean, consistently dropping 40 bombs and calling out decently for Karma. He was making some great plays, and he has been lackluster, to say the least. Pretty bad.
Him and Slack are the main 2 keys for this team to go far and do well. I feel like everyone else is Pander's there, all right. Pander's doing what he's a sub. Yeah, he's doing what a sub needs to do. But those 2 players, your veteran players, Karma 3 rings, Slack multiple championships. It needs to hit you that if you don't step up now, you might not make it to champs. You know, you might
I
not
don't
have
think
enough
Slack was
points to
playing
be the champs.
that horribly though. Like he
I
wasn't playing well.
saw
He could step up.
I
To
saw
be honest.
0.8 point. I saw a
Karma had a
0.79 last event.
0.76.
That's
Karma had a
bad.
0.76
That is
at
not
LA.
good. I mean,
No, it's
both
not
of them.
good.
That's why I highlighted them
Yeah,
both
it's
specifically.
not just one player. When it's Enable, the only person on like 100 Thieves, Enable would drop a 0.8 baiting for 4 people, and the rest of his team was frying. That was different than a double below 0.8, and you're not baiting very much.
You cannot
losing
win.
a lot of gunfights.
I'm not going to say you cannot win, but it is 10 times harder difficult in this game to win with 2 players on your team not performing.
What was this Atlanta, the second event?
Wait, say it again?
Atlanta was the second event, right?
Yes.
Second tournament?
Yes.
Okay, Seattle. Let me make sure Seattle went there, right? Nope.
Oh
Seattle
wait,
wasn't
no,
there.
no,
What
no.
was
Yeah,
the-
it was Roker, Homestead, London, then Atlanta. So if you want to call
Maybe it's
the
London
Homestead
I'm thinking of, because I don't think Seattle didn't go to Atlanta. I think it was London. Seattle went 4-1 in dominations, and their KDs were all below a 1 except Octane. They were playing good Dom for some reason. You would think that would like help them win series. When you look at that team on paper, you would think that's a good hardpoint team. I mean, you would think they're winning more series than they are, but they were actually like 4-1 or 5-1 in Dom. Because I remember that stat. They only won 1 series. They won
it's what
6 minutes.
They consistently say is search, right? The search and destroy for them is just awful. We're just going to say it. It is not great. And for your only 2 wins to be against arguably the worst team in the league, that's not good. For the player calibers, for the caliber players on this team, it's go time. Like you need to. It's now or never.
Yeah, but the search is bad. But you would think they could have pulled out a series versus somebody other than the Gorillas with bad search. They were 4-1 in Dom. Like that's actually a pretty good stat, to be honest, considering how bad they were losing.
I mean, it's like Karma said too. I mean, opening weekend, I think they lost to Toronto. And I forgot who the other loss was. It was close losses. I think one was 3-2 and the other one was 3-1. Close games. But if you have 20 CDL points and let's say they do what they've been doing throughout the year and they're just not done with, but they get 0-2 bopped at this tournament. I mean, you're
toast.
You're done. I mean, this is do or die.
20 CDL points, right?
20.
I can pull up the standings, actually. I'm pretty sure they have 20.
They do. It's 20 even. It's against the Gorillas.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Okay, well, we'll move on from them. They're your team to watch because you think.
I think that the caliber players on that team, and this is why I chose them. It's going to hit them mentally, and I think that they're going to make it out of pools and perform. And they have the hardest pool. They have the hardest pool by far.
Yeah,
they have Huntsman River.
No, Dallas made their pool sweet.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, hopefully they step up, hits them mentally, and they can do what the caliber players on this team have been doing for years. Let me ask you this
before we move on from Seattle then. Do you think Seattle has a chance to win this event?
No. Maybe a chance. Maybe a chance at second. Let's say an upset against
like a
Huntsman.
Really good weekend and can only make grand finals.
Yeah, I just don't see any way they can beat Dallas. Or I mean, Chicago's in their pool too. Maybe third.
Their pool is Seattle, Paris, Chicago, Minnesota.
That's tough, bro. That's tough.
They very well could be the worst team in their pool right now.
Possibly. I mean, CDL points they are, but player calibers.
Okay, well, we'll move on from that. I think the way I took when I told you about the team of the week, the way I took it is someone to watch as an improvement, or like someone to keep an eye on. I don't think this team is going to win the event. I can already say that. I don't think they're even going to do that well. But I would keep an eye on them because I do think they're getting better, and I think they're very slept on at the moment. I'm going to say Toronto is my team to watch out just because I actually think they're going to get better online. I think they're going to improve being online. There's a few teams that were like cheeks that I think are going to get. I think LAG is going to get better online. Don't think they're going to be good, but I think online is going to significantly make them better.
But you don't think Cammy for Looney is going to affect them at all? Not online.
Well, it was medals for Looney, wasn't it?
Cammy medals for Looney, not Cammy. My bad.
I think I don't know why Looney got dropped. I'm gonna be real. I don't think there's any KD Looney could put up to get himself dropped off that team. I just
Yeah,
that
that's
dude,
for
he does
gays.
too much, bro. And Metals is not even that. He's straight. Like he's okay, but I wouldn't be putting him on there for Looney. But the other four, I actually think are really good at this game. I think Zenny, Classic, Vance, and Cammy are pretty good at core, and they're all in Toronto. I think they have a good team vibe. My problem is, are they going to execute? Because last night I was doing my bracket predictions, and I could not even. It took me forever to bring myself to say, okay, they're beating Florida. It took me forever to just come to that conclusion.
I think that the only way they beat Florida is Zenny's going to have to match what Skies is doing, and the other four are just going to have to play lights out, straight up.
I actually think Skies is about the only position that they just straight up beat Toronto in. Because they have
Skies is disgusting,
Frosty, Mox, and shout out Frosty, played Notre Dame CL. He got tucked. Let's go. Frosty, Mox, and who am I missing? They dropped for Steenie, not Pharaoh, who's the other Havoc, dude. I'm gonna be real. Classic, Vance, and Cammy have those three on lock. If I'm being honest.
I don't think anyone on that team has Pharaoh on lock, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't say Pharaoh. They're subcore. Frosty, Mox, and Havoc are as good as Classic, Vance, and Cammy.
But I mean, if you look at the rate, not the
Vance
ratings,
and Cammy are disgusting, dog. I know you have a stigmatism against Classic, but those two kids are pretty good, dude.
I know Vance is good, but Florida has shown us that they can make it to a grand final, that they can go far in tournaments, get third, fourth, not far, but they can make it out of pools. They've consistently shown us. I think LA was the only event where they didn't do that.
Everybody's been to Minnesota in 2 events, correct?
And they played FaZe as well. Yes.
Okay, so they only realistically had one good event out of the 3. I guess they went to 2. They went 1-1 at Minnesota, and they only won one series last event, and it was against a struggling, horrible New York.
Well, to be fair, was a roster change weekend, and they had FaZe in their pool, 3-0 sweep. Like, that's not that comparison. I mean, that was a 30-minute series. New sub playing the best team in the league. I don't know.
I guess so, but
Toronto's just. And if you look at the standings, I don't know.
You can see how I'd be skeptical about Florida. Like,
yes, I understand, but I mean, I guess if you look at the other side of the argument, Toronto did take Chicago Game 5. I think round 11.
Chicago game, yeah.
That's crazy. They choked that, but
yes, they were in a 3v2 that they choked, and then Vance killed Formal off bomb, and Gunless shot him in the back right before the round ended. And should have won the round 11, to be honest. Maybe
was that at London or Atlanta?
That man.
That was in Atlanta. It was at Atlanta. I know. I remember. Chicago railed everybody at London.
Atlanta, yeah, because they beat Ultra and then they lost the next match. Right now. They beat Minnesota and then they lost the next match.
Who do they play after that? Who are their wins against? Who was Toronto's wins against?
I know they beat Seattle the first time in a game 5-11.
Yeah, I said Seattle earlier.
They only have 1 win or 2 wins?
I think 2.
Nope, that's just 1. They had 10 CDL points and they beat Seattle game 5 round 11. That was at Minnesota. They haven't won since Minnesota. That is not good.
That is not good. And the thing with them is they lose a tournament and they're like, who can we replace with that's on the bench? Like, that should not be your mindset. You should get better with the teams that you have. Looney has proven himself as a leader and can win.
They should have kept Looney and then tried to build with that roster. Because in my opinion, the only other roster that would have worked would have been Brack for Cammy.
I would have brought Brack in a heartbeat.
This game doesn't require another AR though. I think it's BO4.
Brack can use a sub.
He can, but I don't.
I get what you're saying.
Better than an AR player, flex AR type player-ish.
Yeah.
I think if this was BO4, he'd definitely be in, and I think they should keep him for a future season. But other than that, they shouldn't have been.
I don't know. That's going to be a close match. Florida, Toronto.
Yeah, I have faith. I want to have faith in Toronto. Like, I don't think they're that bad. As bad as they play.
Vance has been playing well.
Who?
Vance.
Oh, Vance is good. I cannot believe Vance and Classic weren't on the roster to start the year. That is mind blowing. Vance is, hey man, people forget Vance is a Silver Surfer world champion. He got second place.
One of the only Euros to win.
True.
In
One
American
of 4
soil?
only ever win, and got only one of 4 to ever come second in a world championship.
The other 3 of them are on the bench, but you know.
That's true, but Vance is also the only European ever. He's probably one of the best European players of all time.
I would say so too.
He's got to be up there. I mean, him, Trey.
If you want to go all time, you could say Tommy. If you want to go all time,
that's probably top 3.
I mean, but if we're talking skill now,
I can't do Mad
the
Cat
Ravens
1. Mad Cat's really not that good, to be honest. I wasn't gonna say it because. Well, I think that's all I got for Toronto. You have anything else on Toronto? I don't.
For team to watch?
Much else I can say? Yeah, I mean, I just have faith. I want to have faith in them. I don't. Their pool is them, Florida, and Dallas and LAG.
Yeah.
So realistically, they have a shot of at least.
They do have a shot to make it out. I understand that
because they're in the easier pool. So I actually do have them making it out, but it's kind of a toss-up. Let me also say this because we haven't seen these teams play since. Let's see, when was LA? What was the date of LA?
March 9th, 7th.
Okay, by this weekend, that will be over a month. We haven't seen these teams play in practically a month. And on top of that, we're not on land anymore. This is going to be a whole different scheme. So to be honest, except for what seem obvious matches like the Dallas LAG, which may not be obvious, but the matches that seem obvious outside of those, a lot of these games are toss-ups for me. Like, these are going to be my worst prediction all season.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how anyone.
It's like a brand new league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it kind of is. And if it wasn't a brand new league, if taking a month break, I haven't seen any of these teams. I have nowhere to gauge them.
If I'm the bottom tier teams, I'm looking at this as a blessing. Just a good reset to get back to where you need to be. Your Seattle's,
back up.
Your Toronto's.
I'm about to name the teams.
Subliners, but they're not here. But Gorillas.
Seattle, Toronto, LAG, and New York. I would look at this as a blessing. Maybe even London. They're 7.
They're 7th. How many CDL points? 40?
40, yeah. So, I mean, that's not that bad. I would say Optic, but I think Optic's going to get worse online. They're not an online team to me. Cap and Slasher and Kenny aren't known as online players. Slasher is known as shows up like he's never been a guy to be like, oh yeah, good online.
It also doesn't help when, we don't even have to touch on it, but it also doesn't help when you drop one of the most talented players in the CDL.
Actually, after we do our player to watch out for, let's touch on it.
All right.
So, okay, I'm going to go back to the schedule real quick. Since we wrapped up Toronto, let's move on to player to watch out for this event. Who are you looking out for, whether it be for online or if you're disregarding online and you're just saying at the time of this event, who is the player that you are watching out for or to look out for? Like we did the team, who's the player?
I think it has to be Shotzi. I mean, on land.
That's what I was going to say.
On land last event. It was either Shotzi or Heavily. On land last event. Highest KD on his team. They win an event after all the shit they gave him first 2 events, right? Now he's coming on to an online league where supposedly online warriors, whatever, they proved it on land. Shotzi, I mean, he's not at the crowd. The crowd can't affect him as much, which I don't think the crowd affected him as much unless it was Minnesota or Chicago. But I think Shotzi, you're just going to see an improvement. You're just going to see an improvement in KD, everything. I think you're just going to see an improvement.
I agree. That's who I was going to say. I'm going to try to find somebody else or think about somebody else. Actually, I have another.
It was either that or Illy. Illy needs to step up as well.
I have a different one, but Shotzi. Okay, first off, he is not that bad at Call of Duty. People in the community and land, he's a good player. Like,
Shotzi is a bust.
He's a good player. Shout out nameless Shotzi bust. He is not that bad. Let's just get that straight.
He had the highest KD on his team last week.
Yeah, I mean, if you just think this guy can't shoot back, you haven't watched Call of Duty S&D tournaments. BO4, this guy was a glitch in S&D tournaments. He was disgusting. And Shotzi has won Halo tournaments. He's won Call of Duty Online tournaments. He is good. So let's just put that out there. Also, I think he was learning how to play. Like, he genuinely, I don't think, knew how to play the game that well, to be honest with you. But luckily, he has Krim and Clay to teach him. And I think he was getting the hang of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, plus, I mean, it doesn't make the biggest difference, but they made Hook run trophy, gave him dead silent stun, can run more freely, do what he wants, get more kills.
That helped them as a team, just having even something so minor as a trophy and smoke being in the right spot, because Hook has been used to playing Call of Duty is something that's minor.
That helps a lot. And it helps Shotzi as well for the KD wise, getting kills wise, sling wise.
All that I said applies for LAN and but on top of all that, obviously I think Shotzi and Illy are going to be better online. Just whether it's internet or being in the comfort of their home. I think no lights, no crowd, no fans, just them chilling at a facility or at their apartment or house or whatever it is. I think they're going to be better.
When they were dominating scrims, Illy took 300 steps a day. Like, he's going to be a beast at his own setup, bro.
Yeah, I think they're going to reap the online league. My other person that I just thought of on the spot is Vivid. I think Vivid is going to improve massively from being the same reasons pretty much as Shotzi. I don't know if he had to learn the game, but being at his house, the comfort of his home, no fans, no lights, no LAN, no nerves, that guy's going to be disgusting online. Same for probably Mac Melts too. Oh, actually, no, New York's not here, never mind. But later on when they play.
Yeah, but the thing with it's just they have. I don't know if they can even make it out of their pool. Is the thing. Like that's the only issue. If they make it out, it's gonna be because of what you said and him performing well and that team performing well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't have them making it out. I don't have them winning the match, to be honest.
I think we all have Dallas, but
dude, they're just so bad. They're so bad, dude. They were bad, and they made a roster change. It got worse. They literally made an awful roster change.
I saw them scrimming like a few months ago not a few months ago, but a few weeks ago, and it was a totally different roster. It was like they had Pat in for someone. Like, if they're sticking the same roster or what?
They had Pat back in?
No. It was like a week ago for a scrim. I'm pretty sure it was for a scrim. But I'm saying, like,
if I was Pat, I wouldn't be scrimming for fun.
Are they keeping the same roster that they had?
I think so. Because wasn't the exhibition match had their roster that they played?
Yeah, it did.
But I remember that was pre-recorded, so I don't know if they've changed within the last week and a half. But also, if you guys check out the exhibition matches, those are, it's still content in the CDL. Support everything they do because we want to make COD the biggest esport YK TV. But I think Vivid is going to actually be a pretty good player. But LAG for me, if they didn't have Decimate, is undisputably, undebatably the worst team in the league. If they didn't have Decimate, I think you can make an argument since they have him, because that guy is good. I like Decimate, but other than that, I think their team sucks.
I mean, if we see Blast performing well and Vivid performing well and Decimate performing well, I could see a world where they could make it out of pools.
That's true. Blast and Spartan had atrocious events.
Yeah, there's
awful events.
There's just too many question marks where this player has to step up, and it's just like a 0.67, 0.7 something.
Blast and Spartan's KD from the last event.
It was not good.
It was not 0.7 at least. It's very, very bad. This is bad.
I need to plug my phone up.
Damn, I was trying to scroll through Lionman's stats. Should I go to Easy Man?
It was the worst at the event. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, it was a 0.7 something. You said March 9th?
I think so. That was just off the top of my head.
But LA, dude, I'm about to revoke my faded statement from the CDL and give it to LAG for picking up Spart. There's no reason for that, dog. One, he's ass. Two, there was no reason for that. Their roster was not that bad.
prior to picking him up, he did win the Open event, and I'm pretty sure he had some insane.
Dude, guess
He
his
had an
Dom KD, dog.
insane. He had an insane KD at the Atlanta event. That's the only side of the story I
Yeah,
see.
playing
But
AMs.
beside of that, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
He's
playing
getting
AMs.
world starred by
Now he's
pros,
playing
I don't
Octane,
know.
and Octane's turret smoking
Dude,
his junk.
Octane literally was having a field day,
Okay,
bro.
I will give you $10 if you guess Spart's Dom KD.
0.65.
0.63.
That's awful.
Dude,
I
that
wanted
is
$10
horrible.
too. That
is horrible. His hard point was 0.75, SD 0.67. And I'm not saying KD's everything, but you gotta shoot back, dog. Like, that was horrible.
That's not good.
The only positive KDs. Okay, Vivid had a positive S&D KD. It was actually pretty good. It was a 1.33. Aqua had a positive hard point, and Decimate had a positive hard point KD.
Aqua's been playing all right this year.
Blast and Smart had 0.8 and below in all 3 games. That is terrible.
It's just like with the Seattle situation.
Unacceptable.
You cannot win with 2 players, 3 players doing that. It's just not possible. I don't think
Seattle was doing that bad in every game mode.
I'm not saying they were doing as bad, but I'm saying when you have 2 players doing that,
it's literally on the brink of impossible to win.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could win doing that, to be honest. Wow. Pharaoh had a 0.6 in S&D. That's not good.
Yeah, but they got 3-0 bopped and they played phase. I guess you could make an
Johnny
argument.
Dropped 15 on him in a Ramaz too, Ramaz S&D. Or remember correctly. To be honest. But yeah, Spart, Vivid was not that bad of a pickup. I realistically think they could just put Blast in for Pat and try that roster with their original roster, and it wouldn't have been that
bad. Maybe. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there was no point to go out of the way.
What? They're paying more money when they already had Blast on the bench. They could have not paid a dime, made a one-person move, and got better. Instead, they're paying a minimum of $100K more to make a 2-person change and get worse. LAG, hello? Is anybody home? You guys are tripping. Faded statement.
Yeah, LAG's a train wreck, man.
What to say? Really are. I don't know if their management is.
In some of these rosters, like you can tell whether it's the management.
Yeah.
They just have no COD knowledge. Like they're just picking up. They're going through the AM events. Who is the highest KD? Oh, let's sign him.
They're making statistical roster moves, whether it's KD or it's an economic benefit.
Just like dropping Looney.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
That's a management decision, but I'm surprised Marky B let that happen. According to Zenny, they have Marky B, an assistant coach and analyst.
I'm gonna say it. I don't think Marky B's a good coach, but that's my opinion.
That bad. He knows Call of Duty somewhat. He knows Looney's good. At the very least, he knows
he should know that. I don't know why.
He did coach him last year.
I know he had coached him last year.
Over a year. He has to know that Looney's a champion. Like, so Marky B didn't make that decision. If you ask me, there's no way. I can't see him doing that. I don't know how he let it go through though.
I think that's pretty much it for player to watch for.
Yeah. We can just move on to our match bracket prediction. If you want to start, go ahead, because I don't feel good about mine at all, to be honest.
I mean, mine's probably the same. Not the same as yours, but it's probably let's
start with Pool A. We'll start with the easier pool because I didn't really have as much trouble with Pool A. Start with your predictions for Pool A.
Pool A, Dallas, of course. Not only I know their homestead doesn't have an effect, but you saw what he did last event. We know what they can do online. Dallas, of course, clear favorite.
I
second.
Everyone's gonna have Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody is Dallas.
Like I said, Gorillas are gonna improve, but it's not gonna be enough. I think Dallas probably wins pretty convincingly. So
the thing with the Gorillas is they play Dallas first, so that's also yikes. But
down in a hole, 0-1 off the bat.
I gotta go with Florida. Skies is a top 4 AR in this game, bro. Skies is playing amazing.
Give him top 5.
If Pharaoh can play how we know Pharaoh can play, and the other 3 can just step up what they're doing, they're gonna make it out. But I think they're more talented than the other teams in the bracket. I think they're better than the Gorillas, more experienced than the Gorillas. I think they're better than Toronto. I just have Florida making it out, bro. I can see a world where they don't, but
Okay, so by your predictions, you have Dallas, Florida playing next round, and LAG Toronto playing the elimination round.
Yeah.
Okay, and you think start with the elimination match. Who's winning that?
Between Toronto
and
Gorillas,
LAG. Yes.
I would go to Toronto for sure. You got Zinni, you got Classic. I don't think they're gonna lose.
Have LAG getting O2 bopped also a little different, but it's hard to say they're gonna win a match. They're cheeks. Just
yeah.
So you have Florida Dallas. Then I mean, I can see that being a decent game. I don't think you can pick Florida, but I can see it being a.
Yeah, I could. I mean, maybe Florida takes a search. Maybe a Dom.
Dallas is pretty good at search. I can see a Dom. Win a Petro Dom by 1 point.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Doing something like that.
I don't see a hard point. I don't see any of that. I think Dallas is going to handle them pretty well.
If Dallas is moving on by what you're saying, then Toronto, Florida for second elimination.
I mean, it would be a replay of the match one.
Yeah. So you're just going with the same result. It's not going to be the same maps. Can't imagine a coach would ever have this lose and pick the same maps.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Florida again, bro. I just have to.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do my group A, and then we'll move on to B. I did pretty much the same thing, except I had Toronto winning, just because like I said earlier in the podcast, I have faith in them, but to be honest, I'm not confident. I have faith, but not confidence, because they haven't proven much. Florida has proven more as of recent, but I think Toronto's going to come out firing. So I have Toronto beating Florida. Like I said earlier, I just think their subs are better than Florida's. Skies is definitely gunning any AR, even though Zinni's not bad. Skies is definitely better.
Skies is having Zinni on clamps. Let's be real here.
He is having Zinni. Not gonna lie.
But I mean, dude, even when they played FaZe, Skies was shitting, bro. He was destroying, and the rest of his team was just really getting dunked on.
Oh, dude, Skies is hella good online too. He might be frying even more. No cap.
I don't know, bro.
This is going to be like I said, how important the centralized team region is going to be. This is a double centralized team match, all in Minnesota, all in Florida. So the Deddy and 60 Hertz should be good for both teams. Oh, also, shout out, thank God we're getting 60 Hertz. I cannot believe we played on a 12 Hertz.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to get mad.
The time of recording this podcast, Valorant is recent on the beta. They have announced already, before the game has dropped, they will be competing on 128 tick. That is higher than CS and COD competitive servers combined. COD is playing on 12! 12!
Unacceptable,
I can almost count on 2 hands how many hertz that is.
Unacceptable. There's PlayStation games with higher hertz than 12. Games. PlayStation. There's Game Boy games, I guarantee you. Game Boy games. There's mobile games
on Nintendo 64 with higher hertz servers, dog.
I guarantee you Clash Royale has higher hertz servers than that.
It's awful, but both teams should be pretty good because they're all in Florida and all in Minnesota. So Dallas LAG, touch on it again. LAG's got to show me something for me to start picking them. They got to show me something significant in this event, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think their season's chalk, man. I think it's chalk.
Might be chalk, and that org has a lot of money. Like, they could have made a really good roster. I think they let Pat swindle them into picking up
the master finesser, bro. They let the master finesser swindle his words.
Pat is the ultimate god of finesse. But Dallas is going to win that. Likely 3-0, maybe 3-1, probably 3-0. So that takes me to LAG Florida in my first elimination match. Again, LAG is just I can't see them winning. Florida is decent, so I take Florida probably winning 3-1 or something. And Dallas Toronto, I want to have faith in Toronto, but I think Dallas is probably going to stomp everyone in this event. They were already hitting stride on LAN, and now we're going back online, and Dallas probably where half the Deddies will be. These guys are going to rail everybody, I think. I think they're going to destroy Toronto, to be honest. The hardest pick of this whole side of the bracket was the Toronto-Florida second time. Was even harder than the first one. because, like I said earlier, I don't think the maps will stay the same in the first to second series. So, I mean, I picked Toronto again just because, like you did, this is just who I think will be playing better at the event. But literally a coin flip. Like, I genuinely have no idea.
Yo, Tanner.
Yeah.
I gotta go get a charger, brother. My phone on 8.
All right, you can go ahead. I'm gonna move on to.
All right, brother.
So B is that the pool B is Seattle, Paris, Chicago, Minnesota. Oh, also, I had Dallas and Toronto moving to A. I just picked Toronto to beat Florida just because that's who I picked the first time. That's who I think is going to execute at the event better. So Seattle, Paris play each other first, and Chicago, Minnesota play each other first. And, are you good? I think he's having some technical difficulties. Are you good?
What?
Are you good?
Yeah, bro, I got a charger pad because I'm using the earbuds where you plug it into the bottom of your phone. It could have been chickadee. Could have been chickadee chill.
Nice flex. Nice flex. All right, well, I haven't started any picks yet. I just said first match is Seattle, Paris, and then Chicago, Minnesota. So,
this is where I was waiting for.
Seattle, Paris is probably the closest match of the whole thing, of the starting matches.
Yeah, I could see that going game 5. Game 4.
Since you think
yeah, I got Seattle for sure. I have Seattle 3-1. I think they're gonna go. No, I think they're gonna go up 2-0 and drop the Dom.
What search map are they winning? Teddy Rex has been slaving.
Petro. Their best
Teddy
one.
Rex
Petro
must have been slaving, dog.
Yeah, Teddy Rex
he must have been on the Grizzy, getting them to win searches online.
What is Teddy Rex doing?
I don't know, but he's getting paid cash for nothing. Nothing. Yo, Seattle, hit me up, bro. I have to pay cut. Swear, have to pay cut. And I will have you straight in every respawn, bro. I will be your respawn analyst. But okay, next match is Chicago, Minnesota. I think it's gonna be a really good game. This is the game of the.
This
is where your hot take
day
comes
for sure. Okay, Chicago is going to beat the Roker. All right, for sure. Yeah. I think the Roker get a map. I could see it going game. Okay, let's set you up for your little spill then. That goes into the elimination match. Paris and Minnesota are playing Minnesota. Each other. Pretty good team. Really? Minnesota 3-0. I think I'm on 3-0. They're going to 3-0 Paris for sure.
Whoa! You don't think Paris is any good?
It's not that I don't think they're good.
I just think Rockers are that far ahead.
The Rockers shown they're a good team.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good team. But
they're playing Chicago. Bad. I think they're going to lose to. I think they're going to beat Paris. My bad. I know Paris isn't bad. Maybe if starring people, maybe, but I mean that's the only. Dens is dropping a 0.5, 1.5.
3-1 though.
Maybe. I mean, either way, I just have the Roker winning that match for sure.
Okay, I agree. Okay, so Chicago, Seattle.
Chicago. Chicago's gonna win that.
Okay, convincingly.
Yeah, pretty convincingly. 3-1 convincingly, or could be a 3-0 sweep.
I agree. Seattle's pretty bad in line. Although, take it for how you want it, Chicago is much worse online than LAN.
That is true.
Take that with a grain of salt, but just in general, keep that in mind as the rest of the league goes on. They are significantly worse online.
I feel like on the online stuff, once it's a tournament mode, Scomp, Formal, those caliber players it's kicking in that this isn't scrims, this is real. I think they're going to play much better.
But, okay, my rebuttal to that is what makes them a bad team, or what their downfall as a team, is amplified online. What makes them a bad team, or what ruins their team, is their teamwork and chemistry and the personalities on the team. Online, that is enhanced by 1,000. I don't think Pierce is going to scream at Envoy the same way in person as he does. That just isn't going to happen because people won't do that in person. Online, he loses his shit. To be honest,
I think they'll stay more composed, knowing that it's a tournament, not scrim.
I mean, you would
Pierce
hope
lets it
so,
out of his
but I
scrims,
think we've all
hopefully.
seen how immature all of them are. I don't know if they even really have an idea of, oh, let's focus. This is my job here. This is a
Yeah.
real tournament.
But I mean,
So
formal,
you'd hope they could
formal's all business. Come on.
most of the time. I think Envoy actually is too. He's one of the more mature ones on that team, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
He's
for
definitely more
sure.
mature than Scump, even though he's like 7 years younger, or 6. Okay, so Seattle, Minnesota.
This is where I had it. This is where Seattle's season is make or break. And I think
agree.
Seattle is going to win this series game 5. I think their search is they're going to win that series game 5. I think they're going to take the search. I really, really do.
Dude, you got Teddy Rex working day and night on the coal mines, bro. Like, he is actually... He's on the Grizzly, bro.
Bro, he's playing
shout out Teddy Rex,
4v4
faith in him.
4v4 Chals with Doug, bro.
If
Doug's
that does happen, they need to be bowing down to Teddy Rex, bro. Dude got them straight.
I mean, the players on the team, it's literally just in their heads. Like,
that's true.
Even though they're bad search players, quote unquote,
they don't need to get their search that well to be a good team in my opinion. As good as they can be in hardpoint, they could be winning both hardpoints every series, to be honest, if they got everything on the same page.
Unless you play the elite of the elite.
Okay,
AKA,
granted,
AKA ATL FaZe.
You can get rid of, let's say we keep Rocker in. Let's get rid of FaZe, Dallas, and Huntsman. That still leaves, okay, we can't count Seattle because that's them. That leaves, what, 8 teams? That's 8 teams that they could take both hardpoints against every series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I agree. They're respawn.
But
sure.
they could be a top 5 team, top 6 team. They don't even, if they got their search 50-50 and their hardpoint wasn't that good, I think they'd be top 6, top 5 easily. But I agree with you, that's make or break for their season, dude. Like, because, okay, let's say what happens for them? What happens for Seattle if they lose that game? They got 10 CDL points at this event.
It's chalk, and that's what I think they're going to do. Hopefully make it out of pools. If you lose this tournament, then you're just looking at where you have to win an event, and that's where you don't want to be.
Exactly. That's what a lot of these teams are doing to themselves. LAG is at the point, LAG, New York, and Toronto are at the point right now where they're going to have to win an event to make playoffs. Actually, I'll give them all one more event. If they don't get...
This is it. This is the event. This is literally the event.
Top 4 at the next event, all 3 of them play. If they don't get top 4, they have to win an event to make playoffs. Because FaZe and Chicago have 90 points. 90!
Yeah, dude.
And Dallas has 80.
I could see a world...
90, 90, 80, and 70 are the top 4. There's 3 teams that can match.
I could see a world where the bottom tier teams won't even hit 90 throughout the whole season. Like, straight up.
They won't. They literally won't. Are you saying bottom tier as in Seattle,
the worst team,
LAG, and
one of those.
Bottom 4 or bottom 3?
One of those. But I mean, if you look at the players of those teams, the bottom 4 teams, and you look at Seattle, you're literally saying, why are you not performing? I don't know, bro. And hopefully it hits them mentally this turn, and they realize that this is make or break.
Before the season, I always told you that Seattle's problem was slaying. I don't know if it still is. I think Pander helps with the slaying a little, but not a whole significant amount. Before the season, I was watching them pretty heavily. They could not kill anything. They would get the 5 minimum kills possible and hold an entire hill because of how well they were positioned on the map. And they would win hard points by 20, 30 points because they were getting the minimum necessary kills at the perfect time, which is good if you can play absolute perfect, no mistake hard point. But that's very hard to do against the top.
I think they can be. Yeah, it's hard, but I mean, they can be fundamentally team. But I agree with what you're saying. So,
yeah, I think they are one of the more fundamentally sound teams. It's just,
and you know what?
Not executing with it.
I heard Dashy was on the bench.
Oh yeah, we forgot to touch on that. We can touch on it before.
You're telling me that team, Dashy Octane.
After I do. Wait, you heard he's on Seattle?
No, I didn't heard that, but I'm saying that team. If they're
we'll touch on Dashy after I do my B predictions before we go to the top 4 because we forgot to touch on it. Okay, I have all pretty much the same predictions except for that last elimination. I have Seattle beating Paris. Paris, I think, is good. Oh, I have Paris getting O2 bopped. That is sad. I think Paris is actually a pretty good team, but they're worst on the line. They just are.
Yeah.
If they were a LAN team, they're not going to get better. At the very best case scenario, they stay the same for me.
Yo, we're finna have Kismet subtweeting us, bro. He sees this.
Kismet actually might be an actual unit online. He
Yeah,
might get
Kismet, dude, that's
issued
their
on the
only
map.
hope. That's what I said. Kismet's their only hope. I'm like, yes,
What's Zed, Kismet, Dens, Luca? Who's their fifth? Oh, look at them. I really forgot.
Oh, you said Dens. You said Dens. There's another
Kismet.
Australian.
Yeah, Dens.
I know.
Kismet,
I'm thinking of his face. I can't think of his name.
There's 3 Australians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, according to this, Brezzy, Dens, Kismet, Luca, Phantoms, Shocks.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Shocks is pretty good. I don't know if he's going to be on a line, but he is actually pretty good. I think for them to win some of these games, they could pull some of these out. I have way more faith in Paris to pull out games than I do Florida or Toronto or LAG.
I do too for those teams. And if the pools were swapped, that had Paris making out of that pool easily.
Happens to be the worst team in this pool. Actually, I don't know.
Seattle is technically.
Seattle could be. I think Paris. Seattle's a toss-up again for me.
Yeah, but if Seattle wins that, gets the momentum online.
Okay, realistically,
get their CDL points up.
Dens was carrying Paris on land. He was frying.
He was carrying, but plus Kismet was playing well. Plus Shocks was playing well.
Last couple of events, Kismet was playing pretty poor, dude.
Oh no! I was talking about it, Minnesota and London. London, they did well.
Early on, Kismet was playing really well, and then he stopped playing well. Yeah. They declined fast. Yeah. If Dens, Octane's going to take out Dens, but in the general sense of this league, if Dens can keep it up and Kismet gets back to form, they can be very good. Because the other 3 players are pretty consistent, but they're not like Fryman, except Shocks can be. They're pretty consistent. Kismet needs to step up for this team to be good. But I have Seattle beating them at least at this event. And I think Chicago, Minnesota is going to be very close. I actually think it's going to be much closer than people are expecting.
That's going to be a good series, bro. I saw that. I was scrolling down, saw it last match of the day. I cannot wait. I just can't wait. Is that on Friday?
I can look. Yeah, I'm glad that it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, actually. Let me point that out. That is a better format. We always had events Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Why did they make it 2 days? There's 3 days to get your streams in instead of 2. 3 days to make money instead of 2. Why would you try to jam everything in?
Yeah, and you don't have to kick the winner off the stage last second and not give him a trophy as well. So.
Or no MVP. Okay, so Friday matches is Seattle, Paris. Yeah, all the polls are Friday.
All right,
all
that's
4
good.
bracket matches.
And that can help certain teams. You know, you lose a game, reset the vibe, reset what you're doing, and hopefully.
I think that's going to be a really close game because, like I said, Chicago's worse online. Minnesota's going to be pretty good online, decent online, about the same. So Minnesota's going to lose. Chicago will win, but it'll be close. So Minnesota, Paris. We probably need to hurry on. We've been going on for a while, to be honest, brother. It's been an hour. Minnesota, Paris. I think Minnesota.
I think Minnesota
it'll be close, but not
3-1.
3-1. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game, but nothing nail-biting. Chicago, Seattle. Like you said, Seattle. I think they're going to play better, but I can't see them taking out Chicago. I just can't at this point in time, unless they're significantly better.
And look, I'll say this: if they win that Chicago match, let's say Seattle, they're making. I mean, that would be the opening to their season. I feel like if they can match.
I mean, if they let's say if they beat Chicago and made grand finals, they could realistically jump to top 6 now.
If they do what?
If they got grand finals, they beat Chicago and make grand finals. They could jump top 6 teams right now.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Optic last event, dead last. What are they now? 7th, 6th, 8th? Not 7th.
8th. They're 8th. Or they're tied for 8th. 9th.
And they got 3rd. They got 3rd and rebounded the whole season. Now they have to continue playing at that level. They have to continue getting 3rd.
But the same thing is, they got 3rd with 0. Seattle could get 3rd with 20 already and have 50. Optic got, they didn't get 3rd. They got 4th with none, and it kind of rebounded their season. Seattle has a chance to bolster their whole season. but they
That's what. Yeah,
need
that's make or break, bro.
but they
That's what. Yeah,
need
that's make or break, bro.
yeah, they got to have a big performance. I don't think it's going to happen against Chicago. Seattle, Minnesota is where I disagree with you. I can't. I think that these are lockups for Minnesota, and we saw Minnesota's hardpoint prowess against FaZe. They're good at it. They are good at it. FaZe probably should have won at least one of the hardpoints, but you can't take away from Minnesota how well they were playing.
Both. We won't get into it. We won't get into it.
Regardless of who should have won, Minnesota played well. You can't take that away from them. They're good at hardpoint. And I think if Minnesota comes out and plays their hardpoint, they're going to wipe Seattle. Seattle is only good at hardpoint for me at this point. They might win the Dom. I actually will say 3-1.
Let's say it's a cave hardpoint, and Octane does Octane things.
That's their one possibility of winning, in my opinion. Or maybe a Petro. It's kind of long.
Octane has been playing absurd.
If Octane has a 100T Octane map, they can win a hardpoint or a Dom. I think that would only help them in respawns, though. Don't think he's going to have any kind of crazy map in S&D.
Yeah, probably not. But
The thing with Seattle that makes them so bad right now is you look at any series versus a decent team. I would say from Ravens up, which is 7-1. Any team up, you look at the series they're playing, and you think right now, you're like, well, game 2 and game 5 are chalked. You have to win the other 3.
yeah,
You can't be a pro team and look at maps that way. You cannot be that bad at S&D.
and it falls on, and not only the search, but I mean this also goes for the respawn. And I told you there's 2 players that need to step on. Karma, you're one of the greatest players of all time, bro. Like those, if Karma and Slack don't step up, then whatever I said about Seattle gassing them up, it's chalk.
All right, guys, that was your Astro Gaming listen moment. Thank you, Colby, for addressing Karma in Seattle. They do need to step up. It's quite sad the performances they're having in S&D, but as a pro team, you cannot. Second if that can't be chalked. That is good. So I have Minnesota moving on. I think Minnesota's a better team. I just do. And also, again, my point, Seattle is very split across the country versus a centralized Minnesota. That is going to be more important than people are thinking. So I have Chicago and Minnesota moving on. Now, do you want to wait and touch on Dashi, just finish the top 4, and then touch on Dashi and close?
That's up to you, bro.
But yeah, let's just do top 4. Your top 4 is Chicago versus Florida, Dallas versus Seattle.
Chicago's gonna destroy it. Okay, that's the rematch. People say, oh, Florida beat Chicago. That series was an actual choke at it. I think it was Atlanta.
Sure.
An actual choke. That doesn't happen again. I say Chicago 3-0.
Okay, and Dallas, Seattle. I think that might be a good game. If it happens.
It could be a good game. It could go game 5 if Seattle steals a point, which is very unlikely. Could.
Octane is one of the players who can take Krim and Clay out of the equation. There's not a lot. Those are, no matter how old you think they are, those are good players. Clay and Krim are always doing something important on the map. Octane is one person who can take them out of the equation, in my opinion.
And let's say the subs for Seattle are playing well, and they just lock up Shotzi and Illy. You could win the series, but I mean, it's too much. There's too much could. Like, Dallas is proven, so I mean, I just got to go Dallas.
There is too much possibility.
There's too many what could happen.
I don't have Seattle being there, but if I did, I would say Dallas is too good at S&D to lose to Seattle. They're not bad at hardpoint. They're good at respawn, and they're very good. Do you remember the first S&D they played against?
I think it was 6-0.
Wiped their
was it
nose
6-0?
on Arklov. Yeah,
I remember that.
Wiped to their nose on Arklov. That's Huntsman. They're the second team in the league right now. So
but then Shotzi should have been
actually. Yeah, but that was bad, Shotzi. We're at evolved Shotzi. So okay, well, Dallas, Chicago. Who do you have winning the event?
I gotta go Dallas, bro. I don't see a world for Dallas. Dallas is hot right now.
Yeah. They're hot, and online is their stomping ground.
Now this is a bigger test for Dallas than it is the Huntsman. Dallas
is it
06 map count against FaZe. Owen, I don't know the map count specifically between him and Huntsman, but they're 0-3 against the Huntsman. The top 2 teams you don't have to win against.
Okay.
You can destroy everyone else, but you need to prove that you can beat the top teams, and this is the perfect time to do it. To shut the Huntsman fans up and win the tournament. I
Let
think they do it.
me add on to that because I agree with that sentiment. Well, for the game or during the game, the test is bigger for Dallas. If Dallas were to win, it becomes a bigger test for the Huntsmen. The Huntsmen cannot take a loss and fold. They cannot take a loss and start hating each other because they lost the first online tournament.
Yeah,
They,
but
the test becomes on them if they lose. And if they win, they can't take it to their head and go, oh, well, we just won. We're nasty online again. They need to keep a balance of we know we're good. We either played well or played bad. And we need to keep going. They can't take it too far one way or the other.
if Dallas loses to Chicago, let's say this, all right. Dallas would
It's a
be
mental game.
0-6 against the top two teams. And then the fourth team, they went game 5 in a grand final. So, you're looking at that like, can you beat elite teams? It's a mental block for them against Chicago. I don't know if it is a phase, but this is the event to prove all the Huntsman fans ever.
Like you said, if they lose to Chicago, it's a big permanent mental block for Dallas. It could be bad. Like it could be, we can't beat them.
It could spiral. Just not beat FaZe, not beat Chicago.
They may not beat Rocker anymore. It may be they don't beat any 3 of those teams for the rest of the season. Personally, my top 4 for my picks were Chicago, Toronto, Dallas, Minnesota. Chicago is gonna stain Toronto probably pretty bad. They scrimmed last week, like 3 or 4 days ago, and Toronto stole 1 out of like 5.
Yeah, they took the Hackney. I watched it.
Or something.
They took the
Did
Hackney.
You watch the Doms? I didn't see the Doms.
I didn't see the Doms. No, but they took the Hackney.
If they didn't win a Dom, which I'm assuming they did, they took 1 out of 8 respawns, which isn't good. And Chicago's probably gonna win that game. I have Dallas, Minnesota. That could be a trap game for Dallas. I'm going to be honest, Minnesota has a shot to win that game. I had Dallas winning because that's just what I picked last night. I don't remember why. I don't really have a reason. It's another toss-up. But Dallas doesn't need to take that game lightly. Minnesota doesn't either. But Dallas doesn't need to think, oh, we're online, we're winning this event. I realistically think if Dallas beats whoever wins between Dallas and Minnesota is probably going to beat Chicago. I just don't think Chicago is going to be set up. They had
probably between those two.
Starting Sunday, they will have played 1 match against bottom 2 worst teams in the tournament, probably, or bottom 3, and they're just going to play Toronto and then go play Dallas or then go play Minnesota. I don't see them Chicago winning. I think whoever wins between Dallas and Minnesota wins the event. And for me, I have Dallas winning.
Well, Dallas, that was the finals last tournament. Dallas was up 2-0. They could have closed it out easily. They let up. Roker took the other 2 maps, and now you're looking at a game 5 in the finals, which Dallas did clutch up. Still was shit.
Let me say that their composure, and their impact is less than it is on land.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I have Dallas winning the event. They're just too good of a team, and it's their event. # home field advantage.
I think everyone, even from Dallas to Chicago's 1 events, everyone has something to prove. Whether you're a low tier team or I'm not going to touch into it because you're about to go to your friends, but you can go ahead.
No, I mean, I already said I think I have Dallas winning the event. I don't really have.
For real.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't. I don't have much else to say. I just don't think Chicago's going to be. They're going to play Toronto, probably stain them, and then play a good team who just played a good team. Minnesota or Dallas, whoever wins, is going to have played a better team. I just think that's who's going to win. Whoever comes from that side of the bracket, probably a close game. Chicago's good, obviously. Maybe a 3-1, 3-2, but I don't see them winning. So
Yeah,
you can touch
I
on
think
whatever.
we both have Dallas winning. Their homestead, but fresh off an event win, vibes are high. I mean, I see a world where Dallas hit a win
unless the
unless
mental
Huntsman.
block
Yeah,
in the top
that's
four
it.
and finals, unless the mental block gets a hold of them. I think
That's
they should.
it.
If they execute Dallas, they should win. So that wraps that up. I think we should touch on the Dashy thing, and that'll be it. You can give your opinions here. I know you're itching to get it optic.
Okay. I mean, you bench Dashy, right? Arguably the best on your team. The best player on your team.
Talent-wise, the best player on your team. Maybe not mentally, but
the best player on your team. All right, and you go for Chino, right? A known AR player. And so you took out
fourth sub.
You took out. We're talking about Dashy, bro. Running a submachine gun where he can crack out, do whatever he needs to, and you replace him with Sheen. The only way I see that team getting better, the only way, is if it was something between Dashy and Slasher, of course, and Chino listens to Slash or whatever.
I think
that's the only way. It probably is, but
that is what happened. I'm not there, obviously, but I can just about 90% guarantee that that's what happened. Because Enable said himself 2 or 3 weeks ago, like 2 podcasts, actually it was probably more than a month ago now, 2 podcasts ago, that Dashi was just like Pharaoh at the beginning of T. Slasher yells at him, he shuts down, and he's like, "I don't want to play for you anymore." Like it's a vibe thing, a chemistry thing, and it doesn't gel with him. It doesn't work. And no matter how good you are, if your team's not working, your team's not working. So
yeah, but think about this, bro. Because I think with the MP7, if it does get used online, Kenny's running their MP7. So your three main subs,
Cap and Chino.
Cap, Sheen, and Teej. Teej can play well when he wants to play well, but I mean, can you imagine a world where Teej is sitting here online,
and Teej is online? He's not going to, dude. He might be like, he's gonna get gunned to bed one time and literally give up that series, dog.
I mean, those 3 subs are like the biggest.
For any of you some of the worst in the league. TJ Haley is a very good player who's 4 chips and a very good player. And he shows up when money is on the line. When money's not on the line, or when he can't, when money's not tangible to him. When money is like, he doesn't feel in the tourney mode. He doesn't feel in the money getting mode. He doesn't really try that hard. He doesn't take practice that serious. He doesn't take tens that serious. And then he fries at tournaments. But this isn't LAN, and the money's not going to be a lot. It may just be for CDL points now. I have no clue what the prize pool is online. He could be average. Even if TJ shows up, they're looking at 2 average players out of 5 against some good teams. I don't know. At the very least, I thought for sure they dropped Dash. They'd at least enable. Why play Chino in a spot that he doesn't play? Their other sub is Goonjar, a worse version of Chino.
Pack, you have some work to do, brother. Pack has some work to do.
As of right now, you're safe, Pack, but do anything else and you might get faded statement next podcast. I'm just going to be honest. I might be a clown for that one, dog. You or man, it might be Mud Dog. We'll give y'all both faded statement next time.
Yeah, it's probably Mud Dog over.
Because okay, so let's touch on one more thing. Where do you think Dashy's going to end up? It's obvious to say, oh, he could go to the Huntsman because that's where he wants to go. Obviously, seems like from Twitter.
I mean, Huntsman where he wants to go, but he could end up on any of these bottom 4 teams for sure. I don't see really a case where you can make a Dashy going to tier team.
The thing is, I think most of these people have a trade clause, and Dashy probably doesn't want to go to a team.
Yeah,
I'd rather
it's either that
my bag from Optic than go for a bottom 4 team and play and not.
That's up to him.
That'd be awful.
But if he was to go somewhere,
Unless
Seattle.
Seattle counts as a bottom 4 team. I would go to Seattle. Other than
would
that,
too.
I'm not going to the other 3. Plus, they're going to make you move. The other 3, that's a big factor. They're going to make him move. The bottom 4 teams
don't
made
have
all their
to
players
move.
move. All those 4 teams, or those 3 teams required them to move. Toronto,
You
LAG,
said Seattle.
New York.
You said Seattle.
No,
Everyone
not
stayed.
Seattle. The bottom 3 teams,
Oh.
Toronto, LAG, and New York, made
Well,
all
you-
their players move.
They can't move to New York, brother.
That's
Not
true,
right
I guess.
now.
He won't be allowed to. Corona season. But eventually, if he signs with one of those teams, they would want him to move. And they're not even worth it. They're not good.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
think the
understand
only
both
thing-
sides.
Is he could go to the Huntsman for Pierce, which is the obvious choice. But I don't think RCD stays if Pierce leaves Huntsman. And RCD doesn't have room on Optic really, unless I guess they do. They could drop Cap and Cheat. I mean, that would be a weird roster though. Actually,
Who would you even replace with our cities? I don't think.
let him run main and Slasher go back to flex. Slasher could do it. RCD, Slasher, Gunless, Kenny, DJ.
I mean, bro, you're saying these names, but I mean, when we said the names at the
That's
beginning
true.
of the season,
Slasher.
they had 0. So,
That is
I don't
true. They
know.
did not have any CDL points.
It's just Fugaze all around.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
Fugaze all-
The Dashy thing is weird. We'll touch on it again next time. Dates, but that's about all I have. You have any closing statements or any hot takes you want to put out there into the world? You want to
No.
bash the rocker a little bit?
Yeah, the rocker, whatever. You're not making it out of pools. You're not going far in this tournament because of Sam LaRue. That's it. That's all.
That's all I have. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This was
The
the
first one,
episode,
the very first.
hopefully of many of a long journey. I had a lot of fun. This was like 20 minutes, I think, hour or something.
It was long.
But it wasn't. It was supposed to be 40 minutes. We started. I told Colby it was going to be a 40-minute episode. We didn't have a lot to talk about, and we talked for a long time. So, if you guys watched the whole way through, we appreciate you. We want to do this for a long time. It's a passion project of ours. We both think it's safe to say that we
That's all
both
it
love
is.
Call of Duty. And yeah, we appreciate all you guys, and that's it from us.
Boy, one more.
All right.
Next Homestead, when FaZe is playing, we'll have spicier takes. That's it.
Okay. We'll get some hot takes. That's
it, bro.
All right,
That's
guys.
all.
Thanks for watching. That's all. Round
Reach
11 out.
man out.